She's one clever cookie. The episodes are booking. Everybody's looking. It's Focus on Cooking with Lorraine.
Hi, welcome to Focus on Cooking. I'm Lorraine, and today we're going to make two very easy, of course delicious chicken dishes. Before we get started, I want to thank all the viewers for tuning in to Focus on Cooking. I really enjoy bringing you easy, good, healthy recipes, and people seem to really enjoy it. Some viewers asked that we do a segment on grilling, which we will do. But since we're into October already, we're going to do that in the spring, I promise. And coming up in Focus on Cooking, we're going to be doing stews and chicken dishes and soups and appetizers. We might even make homemade pickles that are easy. And we'll do desserts. So we have a lot of things coming up. So I really hope you'll tune in. We're going to get started with our first dish today. So let me get this going. We're going to use a skillet, a non-stick skillet if you have it. If you don't, that's fine. Also, we're going to heat the pan. And what I did ahead of time was I took chicken cutlets, thin chicken cutlets, and I cut them in little squares, 1-inch squares. If you want to, you can use strips, like a 2-inch long strip. I marinated them in 2 eggs and for 1 hour, and then I put them in breadcrumbs, flavored breadcrumbs with 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. And I bread that. When I bread things, I do it in a big baggie, a Ziploc bag. I put the crumbs in there, I put the meat or the chicken or the pork in, zip it up and shake it up. And that's what we have here. So we're going to heat that up. What we're going to do is put 1 little tablespoon of oil in our pan. The reason why I'm putting oil in is we use butter for this recipe. Butter makes the chicken really tender, but butter burns. If you put oil in your pan, your butter won't burn as much. So we're going to heat that up. Let's put the butter in and get it going. A whole stick of butter, actually. You can mix butter and margarine if you want to. So we have 1 tablespoon of oil, 1 stick of butter. We're going to melt the butter in the oil, and then we're going to start sauteing our chicken just for a few minutes until it's golden brown. In between the dishes today, I'm going to give you our kitchen hints. So this can bake while I speak, and then after that we'll do another quick chicken dish. So let's get this going. Now the butter is melting with the oil. We need another minute for it. So that's a great way, instead of getting your hands all dirty in the breadcrumbs and the egg, just stick it all from the egg into a baggie, zip it up, shake it up, and everything's breaded. So our oil and our butter is hot and ready. We're going to place the chicken cubes that are breaded into that. We're going to saute them just for a few minutes. We're going to flip it over when it's golden on one side. That's all you have to do, really. That's easy cooking. Let's put this out of the way. You know, I already started some of it earlier this morning because I want to make a full dish. And this is what it's going to look like after it's sauteed. So we're going to put this back over here. And this is cooking nicely. When you see that the side underneath is getting golden, just flip it over for another minute. Let the other side brown up. It takes a few minutes. Like that. Okay. So we're browning it on the one side, and it's getting nice and brown. Look at that. So now we're going to flip them over and brown the other side just for a few minutes. in that butter. The reason why I'm using butter for chicken is it makes it very tender. This chicken will be so tender you won't even have to use a knife to cut it. I think if you look at it, it'll go in half. It's delicious. See how nice and brown it got on the one side? I'm going to do that on the other side. With that, we're going to take our casserole dish. I buttered the inside of the casserole dish just so it doesn't stick. We're going to add the brown chicken bits in here. This is a very quick, easy dish. Years ago, I made this when I had buffet parties. And it was great for company because they could take as little or as much as they wanted. And it was a big hit. Everybody loved it. A lot of the dishes I'm going to show you over the next few months are things I've been making for many, many years. Let's just get this out of the way. So you're going to place it in the casserole. It'll look like that. Over that, we're going to scatter some sliced mushrooms. I just sliced up 4 fresh mushrooms. You can eliminate mushrooms if you don't care for them, or you can use canned sliced mushrooms. Just sprinkle that over the top. And on top of that, we're going to add some shredded Munster cheese. No, not Munster cheese, Munster cheese. We're going to add that on the top. Your casserole will look like this. And then, to keep it tender, we're going to add a ½ cup of chicken broth. Just kind of gently pour that around. And we're going to pop it in the oven, 350 degrees, for about 10 minutes, till the cheese melts and starts to brown a little. While that's cooking, I'm going to give you our kitchen hints for today, so we can take that out, show you what it looks like, clean up, and then we'll start another dish. Let me get our hints for today. Just 2 things. Most of you know this, but in case someone doesn't know, a dry measure and a liquid measure, they are not the same. So if you're going to use a liquid measuring cup for dry ingredients, your recipe won't work properly. Use dry measuring cups for dry things like flour, oats, cornmeal, things like that. Always use a glass liquid measurer for any liquid products, and your recipe will turn out much better. Now, when I pound chicken cutlets or meat, I use a mallet, a kitchen mallet. You don't have to have a mallet. You don't have to run out and buy one. I chop nuts also with a mallet, but you can use the flat bottom of a can or a jar. So I put nuts in a baggie, close it up, and instead of the mallet, it does the same job. You chop nuts using a flat bottom jar. And you're done. And it's so easy. Okay, now I'm going to get started with our next recipe while this one bakes. Take a skillet, a non-stick if you have it, but if you don't, it's okay. We're going to spray it with cooking spray. If you don't have cooking spray, that's all right too. Use a little oil. You can take a paper towel and smush it around the pan. We're going to heat our burner to high. I have 2 chicken cutlets, which boneless chicken cutlets. We're going to saute them in the pan, and we want them to get golden brown. While the pan is heating, though, let me tell you something else I did. I love roasted garlic. Roasted garlic is delicious in dishes. In some dishes you have to use fresh garlic. But roasted garlic in this dish is fantastic, and you can eat it right up. What I do to make roasted garlic is I take a whole clove of garlic, I cut the top off, drizzle a little olive oil on top, you wrap it in some foil, you bake it in the oven for 20 minutes at 400 degrees. When you're done, and let it cool because it's going to be hot, you're going to squeeze out the roasted garlic on top of your recipe, and that's what we're going to do today. So this is getting hot. So let's start grilling our chicken. We're going to grill it for 2 minutes on both sides until it starts to brown. So we're grilling our chicken, 2 minutes on each side. What we're going to do then is squeeze the roasted garlic out of the cloves. Look at that, squeezing out. It is so sweet and delicious. Sprinkle that over your chicken. It's easy to make, easy to do. If you don't like the garlic, you don't have to have it. I think it gives a lot to the flavor of everything. And it's so sweet and delicious. Okay, just flush it out. To that, we're going to add a cup and a half of chicken broth. To the chicken broth, believe it or not, we're going to add salad dressing. This is light Caesar dressing. Now they make two kinds of Caesar dressings. One is creamy and one is with oil in it. So get the one that has an oil base. You're going to add 1/4 of a cup of salad dressing to your chicken broth. Mix it in. Add that over your chicken. Let it simmer for 2 minutes. In the meantime, let's see how our other chicken dish is doing. Let's take that out of the oven. It should be ready now. Perfect. Let's look at that for a minute. Your cheese is melting. It's golden brown. And the chicken broth keeps it tender. We'll plate that in a minute. Let's let it sit. You're letting the chicken simmer. After a minute or two, flip your chicken over. See how it has all that liquid of the broth and the salad dressing and the roasted garlic. Bring it to a boil for a minute. And then we're going to add in a strange ingredient, but it all works together and it's delicious. We're going to put in 1/2 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. All right. Our chicken is boiling. The liquid around the chicken is boiling. Keep flipping the chicken so that is absorbed. Now we're going to sprinkle in the 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. And you take a spoon, I have a little mini whisk, and you're going to stir that in. The sauce is going to thicken with the cheese in it. Flip your chicken over so it keeps getting coated with the sauce. Cover it. Let it simmer 2 more minutes until the sauce gets nice and thick. All right, this came to a boil. Our sauce is thickening up. I'm going to take the cover off and just let it cook a little till the liquid cooks down. But it's going to look like this. And it smells really, really good. Keep turning the chicken to coat it in the sauce. And if you have extra sauce, I made this for myself the other night. I made egg noodles with it. I poured some sauce over the egg noodles. It was absolutely delicious. Okay, let's plate our dinners. We're going to do this one first. Let's spoon some of that sauce on top. Now let's cut into that. The chicken is cooked. It's very tender. And this is what it looks like. And again, I would make egg noodles and spoon sauce over egg noodles. It's a quick, easy dish. Took no more than 10 minutes to make from start to finish. And now, my favorite, let's plate our chicken with Munster cheese and mushrooms. Let's see how that turned out. Just this closer. It looks good. Golden brown and delicious. Little squares of chicken with mushrooms and Munster cheese. Let's cut into it. Very tender, very delicious. So I hope you're going to try them and enjoy them. Next time, we're going to make a cheesecake, a New York style cheesecake that's easy to make. Anybody can make it. My 9-year-old granddaughter makes it, and it's sugar-free. So I hope you enjoyed the dishes. We'll see you in 3 weeks, the beginning of each month. We're going to show our focus on cooking. I hope you'll tune in. Bye.
Episodes are booking. Everybody's looking. It's Focus on Cooking with Lorraine.